One of their political weapons is cancel culture, driving people from their jobs, shaming dissenters, and demanding total submission from anyone who disagrees. This is the very definition of totalitarianism, and it is completely alien to our culture and to our values, and it has absolutely no place in the United States of America.
Remember this when Republicans and even comedians cried foul when it came to the subject of cancel culture? Well, one man has something to say about it.
Talking about cancel culture has become so hack.
Yeah.
And people who have no fear of cancel culture are complaining about it.
Yeah.
That I think it sickens me. And I think people want comedy to be dangerous. I want comedy to be dangerous. And if you can't get in trouble, it's not dangerous.
Right.
So complaining about cancel culture is just saying you want to take all of the danger out of it and you want it to be easy for you.
Right.
Then I think as soon as I say it, people cheer.
Yeah.
And this journalist was like, why do you think people are cheering? Do you think they believe you that you're about to talk about cancel culture? Do you think they are sick of cancel culture? And I'm like, no. They're way more savvy than that. They've seen the first 40 minutes of the special. They know I'm not suddenly turning into Ricky Gervais.
Right.
Like they get that I'm about to subvert this in some way.
One of my favorite comics, Anthony Jeselnik. From the roast days to Comedy Central, Netflix specials, and much more, Jeselnik takes a hard-line stance on cancel culture. However, you know who doesn't?
This is their agenda. This doesn't have anything to do with pursuing justice or unifying the country. This is all about sheer political gain, political calculation, and trying to satisfy the cancel culture that they are pushing forward. And I tell you what, Laura, it's a mistake. It's dividing the country. It's the wrong thing to do.
Missouri Senator Josh Hawley, a man who met PayPal's Peter Thiel when he was attending, get this, an elite institution because, of course.
But I hate people complaining about cancel culture. I hate comics complaining in general. It's the second comedy boom. It's not going anywhere. People are making more money than ever before. And Dave Chappell, who's won every award in the world, is complaining that cancel culture is making his job harder. It's like, your job shouldn't be easy. Right. If you're gonna make that much money, hey, maybe it should be a little hard. I got no issue with that.
Hit the nail on the head there. Dave Chappell, who is wildly successful, has been on the anti-cancel culture ride for quite some time simply because his anti-trans jokes were a rough go. Jeselnik is right. It says a lot about someone, especially with their stature, that continues to complain on this.
When you say the N word, you're saying it cannot be spoken. It cannot be uttered. It is a sacred word.
Yeah.
It is a magic word. If you say it, Candyman will come.
Right.
It's very weird. It's very weird that we've ever allowed that. It's one thing, you could say, no one's gonna get mad. It's not as racially charged.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the N word, you won't say it. Look at you. Say it.
How many people listen to this stuff is quite alarming. Also, how Spotify keeps it going really shows what they value. Jeselnik, meanwhile, has another take.
You have the great line about just comics trying to get on Rogan by saying that you're fighting this cause. It's like, what's the cause?
It's become I think it's kind of groupthink. And I'm surprised that I'm attacked by saying cancel culture is not a thing. That people that just not parroting what every other comic is saying would somehow be seen as treasonous and not as an individual. I have my own thoughts.
Right,
I don't
exactly.
And I would be way more successful. And I'd have way more money if I did complain about cancel culture. If I went the other way that a lot of these guys go. And I think it's stupid and I'm happy to fight about it.
Yeah.
I think it's good for comedy when two comics are at odds or talking to each other. I think it's good for the art form.
Yeah,
but now everyone's got to be friends.
Right.
You've got to worry about what Joe thinks about these things.
Yeah.
And have Joe mediate fights. And I like Joe, but I don't get the whole stand-up comedy. I got into it because you get to do it by yourself.
Right.
You go on stage alone.
Yeah, with your audience.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
these well, let's get a group together. I never understood it.
I know, I'm the same way.
His ability to bring this perspective, especially about Rogan, who is a fellow comedian, is eye-opening. Additionally, it shows, for the times we live in, how he goes against the groupthink mindset that Rogan offers.
But the State of the Union was not live. And
Yes, it was.
No. Did you see that they found out that it wasn't? That they looked at his watch, and his watch
Wait,
was...
no.
Yeah. Do a State of the Union analysis, Biden's watch.
No way.
Yeah, someone zoomed in on his watch, and his watch was the wrong time.
How could that even be?
Well, it could be he's blind and you can't see what
But
time the
network's
watch
on
is.
it?
I don't know what they knew. How do you know what they knew? You just you get a feed. You know?
I don't think all the Republicans would agree to it, too.
Who
'Cause they're
knows
all
what
there.
they knew? They're all there live while
Yeah.
he's doing it?
Yeah. You got Mike Johnson behind you. You got their all in the audience crossing their hands when they don't like what you say. It's got to be live.
Let's see.
I don't see anything. State of the Union wasn't live. I added watch.
It
I'm
could
not
be some troll.
anything about
They
that.
got me.
Yeah.
They could have got me. Well, there was no Biden's watch. Look at Biden's watch, incorrect time, State of the Union. No, President Biden's Oval Office address wasn't pre-recorded. A fake
No, that's the
image with
Oval
the
Office,
wrong
not the
time
State of the
floating
Union.
around. Yeah, there is a fake image. They got me.
Like, come on, man. You were duped into thinking the State of the Union was somehow pre-recorded. And then you just say, they got me. Imagine all the other stuff he gets duped on when a guest does not care to question him and just goes along with it or cries political indifference. Because let's be clear, that's the only reason he got caught, is because his guest was like, no, that can't be right. In the meantime, Anthony Jeselnik, during his newest special on Netflix, was rather blunt. Here's what he said. Guys, do not get me wrong. I like Joe. Joe's my friend. Joe's a good guy. But if you listen to his podcast, you're a effing loser. From the Newsweek piece, the comedian cited his crazy conspiracy theorist brother-in-law as an example of one of Rogan's target demographic and described him as someone who doesn't think 4 hours is long enough for a podcast episode.
There's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico.
Tony Hinchcliffe, the man who would have received a ton of blame if Donald Trump lost the election, would also be in Jeselnik's crosshairs. In an interview with Vulture magazine, Jeselnik quips he thought the Tom Brady roast was his big moment, even though I think those jokes were hack as hell. After the Puerto Rico joke, Catherine Van Arendonk, the writer, follows up, and Jeselnik would reply of Hinchcliffe, he is a troll basking in the shadow of Joe Rogan. Well played.
Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYT Sports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day. Calling out elite people in comedy should be the rule of thumb.
I think Donald Trump's hair is actually another creature.
Yeah.
The hair's like going, good night, Donald. Good night, Donald. There we go.
Maybe it goes out. It goes out and makes money while he's asleep.
There is something about punching down that feels taboo, and punching up is the way to go.
Crack's not really my thing, but if it was, it would be fine if I was on that side.
Wow.
Don Jr.'s on coke.
We won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated. I'm a very stable genius.
It is very important, the work that the Jordan Kleppers are doing, the work that the Good Liars are doing, the work that our team here at the Turks are doing, and many more.
Used to see these tackles, now they tackle. Oh, head-on-head collision. Bing, flag. Footballs become soft.
You have Trump doing sound effects for tackles. The choice could not be more clear. Like, let's not beat around the bush about it.